Are, I should say, the concepts of good and bad karma valid?
Second,
Is the idea of good and bad karma a valid idea?
well, it's valid. You find out yourself. You find out if fire is good or bad. See? Or if a tsunami is good or bad, you find out. See? You'll know. You know all these things that happen, that you have to determine either good or bad for who. See? Sometimes the worst things that happen are the best things for people. Sometimes the best things that happen are the worst things for people. So it depends on who, basically.
And does good and bad karma apply to inanimate objects?
Always. Well, you can call it that, but it's just change. We add the names. It's our brains and our intellectual sort of mechanical programming that designated one thing over the other. But it is what it is. Everything you perceive is already changing, and it's changed. Everything appears to disappear. Planets, galaxies, especially those that are even presently crashing into one another and merging and disappearing at one point. It's all appearance, it's all illusion. The sages had it understood, it's an illusion. It comes to go. Your birth creates your death. Your death creates your new birth.
Would you say that scientific development is a way of changing the karma of the earth?
The earth changes the karma of the humans and changes the human's mind. It's not the self, it's not the mind, it's the earth. What came first? The chicken or the egg, or in this case, the planet or its inhabitants.
And does our karma as humans mirror the karma of the earth, or is it
We
separate?
are the earth. There's no escape. You're an earthling. Subject to everything the earth is. Not of the worst levels, but of the more or less levels that guarantee or promise survival. And it's up to the intelligence of the individual to extend that survival to whatever level it can extend it to, relative to time, space, energy, or matter. Being healthy, I think, is a general term used. Try to be sane and healthy. Not selfish, but sane, healthy, and compassionate, and kind as much as possible. These are the spiritual qualities.
Can we change the karma of our pets and animals?
Of course, you are your pet and your animal. You share the same space, you breathe together, you eat together, you defecate together in the same space, not the same bathroom, but each one in their respective waste, sort of, what you might say, points. So there's a sharing, there's a mutuality there. Yeah, mutuality. Agreeable mutuality. That's why you have parents. They agree to have you and they take care of you, and it's just part of the cycle. They're not any better than you, you're no better than they are, because you don't know what's going on in their intelligence, particularly. And they don't speak, but they are living and breathing and bringing what is ever in them outside to you, and you are bringing whatever is in you outside to them. Not that any of it's good or bad. It just is what it is, what you make it. It's all karma, and it's not better or worse. It depends on your agreement. Your agreement is the karma that others have to deem either good or bad. When you have to see, you do what you assume is good to do for you.
And so you've said that humans arrive on Earth by way of agreement. Would you say the same applies to animals and non-animate objects?
Probably, yeah, some kind of agreement. That means an acknowledgement that it's okay to be. So, to be or not to be.
Is there a progression?
That includes microbes, insects, and all kinds of creatures. See, they're all part of the same intelligence, see, living intelligence. See, not that it has the same thought process we have. It's not the same. That thought processing is our problem and maybe our, let's say, advantage perhaps, or disadvantage.
Can we think in terms of a microbe being reborn as an insect, being reborn as
It's
a...
possible. Some theorize that that's how it is. You evolve. Say that there's an evolutionary pattern that goes from the gross material to the sublime spiritual. There is definitely a connection. One really reflects different stages of the other. So there's harmony.
Is a regression also possible?
It's inevitable for some. It depends on what you drink, what you say, right? What you do, and what you eat, right? And what you know. Regression is a figure of speech. It has to do with slowing down, or progression is speeding up. Getting there on time or avoiding the time altogether. Unfulfillment, unenlightenment, regression, ignorance, resisting intelligence.
So this idea of, say, committing a heinous act and being reborn as a dung beetle or something, is that...
Possible. There's not written that really equals it being so. People just don't know. You hope for the best.
So once an individual becomes aware of the idea of karma, how do they use that, or can they use that?
Depends on what you understand it to mean. Karma is a word for creation. Karma is a word for non-creation. So it has creative implications. Karma, conditions which are as they are. What is the karma of the planet? It's not static, it's dynamic, it's changing. Who's in charge of a country? Who is subject to the government and so on. It's all planetary. And according to location and the times.
So do good and bad deeds by objective human standards create good and bad karma?
That's relative. You find out yourself. You learn. You can learn by doing and seeing what the effects are.
Does karma operate the same way for all individuals? Is it
Karma is machinery. Your thought processes are karmic. They are machinery, mechanical. You're also organic, but that's also run by laws which would say it's a form of machinery there. Mechanism, system, breathing mechanism, thinking mechanism, depending on how your brain is wired, how your heart is wired. It determines what you do with your time as a human, or time as an animal, or time as an angelic being.
Should we be pursuing good karma?
It's up to you. You have the choice to do it. You have the opportunity to do it. It is said that if you cultivate good karma, you receive good karma. That might be a truth. You have to find out for yourself.
And what about the idea of creating, let's say, as little karma as possible as a way of...
No karma. There is also, in the midst of all of this universal sort of mind-boggling karma, because of the processes that are what the universe is, infinite processes, relative to each location, that is relative to every planet and every form of life and form of, let's say, inanimate material, rocks, dust, gases, whatever. All of that is part of the same symphony, the symphony of the universe, which hums some kind of symphonic tone that you can hear in the field of light. symphony of light, and we hear it, our ears and brains are attuned to it, because we feed off of that. Not consciously until we become conscious of it, then we can resonate with it. And hopefully, ultimately become more enlightened by that.
So would you say that less karma is better karma?
Depends on who. No karma is best karma, depending on who. All karma is best karma, depending on who. So it's all these things are relative to who. So you have beings who are living relative existences. And that's because of the karmic conditions they were born into. So it goes down to ancestry and the timeline of the blood. It's all karmic. It's a mechanism, it's machinery. It has a life of its own. And you have to counter it if it's going against your purpose, or you have to recreate it if it's not, and you need to make it work for you. Find your happiness by what you do that works for you. It's easy to say we should all be good beings, cultivate goodness. Who can do it for real? Who is truly kind to who? To what? Under what conditions?
Do actions and activities always create karma?
They are karma. Everything is karma. Every impulse, every nod of your head is a karmic event. See, that requires this complex sort of like coordination between one part of your body and the other parts, and your head, and your body's state of stress or relaxation. Oh, that's karma. It's machinery. It's not bad, it's not good, it's the condition that you're in. It's your condition. And it's a changing condition, from day to night, from moment to moment. Right? You scratch one part of your body and you got to move, so you're in constant motion or in constant stress. Constant. Doing. Stress, the stress of doing and working and coordinating and living and surviving is all stressful. But then there's something in you that is beyond that, and that is the heart. The heart of peace is there. So it's observing all of it, the deep consciousness. There's absolute stillness, but you need to find that out for yourself. You need to explore it and seize it for yourself, apprehend it.
Is non-action the way to no karma?
No, intelligence is the way to no karma. Understanding is the way to no karma. That is to say, understanding what karma is. And then be able to remove yourself from the sort of self-effects of it, self-limitational aspects of it. See? Where you enter a state of being, whether you're sitting or running, driving or flying, you can be in a state of clear being.
And does clear being neutralize, let's say, one's karma?
No, it doesn't do anything. It just is. You have to get to it. It doesn't do anything for you. You have to get to it. It's like saying, does God do this? Well, we can say that God is like running the show as a big, the conductor of what is going on. Or she is. I like to say she is, but no one knows for sure. And we like to believe it, give us ourselves some sense of security, because we're all co-creating this existence. You're just as responsible as anything called God. But you, in that moment of doing anything, you are the God doing whatever it's doing, and needing doing.
Does the idea of awareness of past lives affect one's karma or karmic
It
situation?
depends on your mind. Anything and everything's already affecting your mind. See? Everything, every bit of news affects your mind. High or low, good or bad, everything's affecting everything. So it's this big kind of like cesspool of effect.